filing fees. I have details of that.
And in business, MTN targets first quarter of next year to roll out this artificial intelligence to help check mobile money fraud.
And in sports,
Ghana Athletics Association confirms fear of extreme financial burdens that will be presented after COVID-19. And a former youth and sports minister reveals a potential conflict of interest risk prevented the payment of a loan given the state by Ghana's first ever boxing world champion. Details when I join you later with sports.
Also in this bulletin, a quest to make history and a desire to let things remain the same.
A bigger gap. In 2016, I had nothing to show. Now we have lots to show.
Time for all of us to come together and wrestle the seats from the MPP.
With the race for the Adenta parliamentary seat, your election headquarters presents the Battleground, the show that engages constituents and candidates. It takes off at 8 p.m. tonight. This year's edition starts with the race between Yababia Samoa and Mohammed Ramadan. You want to stay for the details.
And later on, NSMQola SHS, who are still in the race to becoming the first girls' school to clinch the National Science and Maths quiz, but not without some advice from the quiz mistress. We have that and more here on Newsnight. Please join us with your thoughts and comments. It's via WhatsApp on 0244340437. I am Emefa Apawu.
And my name is Evan Mensah. Details after the break.
Hey, Charlie. My network is really killing me. I have to pay my uncle's workers via mobile money, but the charges alone, it's about 380 cedis. Charges alone just to send money? That's $10 of cement already, my guy. Listen, bro, you can save money on charges if you move to Vodafone Cash now. Vodafone Cash? But my network is... Hey, sending money on that your network, you pay. Sending money on your network to other networks, you pay. But guess what? Sending money on Vodafone Cash is free. Sending money on Vodafone Cash to all other networks is also absolutely free. No charges at all on Vodafone Cash. So tell me, what are you still doing on that your network? Massa, look sharp, then move to Vodafone Cash. Hey, they can change the SIM right now. Yes, sending money on Vodafone Cash to all other networks is now absolutely free. Send unlimited amounts of money as many times as you like for free. Just dial *110# now to send money.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Hey, I say, mix the cement in correct proportional.
Hey, contractor.
Hey, Baganye, what's your soul?
Yeah, Malande. Sorry, I say. When you attend the year of return, Ankasa.
Hey,
contractor. A danya wasting ye. Hey, what would you me feel it too much?
Who project here? Me friend a gas them from top to down. If you are a gas them.
Hey, yes, solid pa.
Hey, you see gas them, man. If for soup, no what do? On your quality, no question. Extra gas them cement biara. I will cook a crab bee. Over 5,000 plus communities. And a gas them. I donations. SCC schools, I built the clinic. Now, when the packaging now, what's Shadara and environmentally friendly?
Never compromise on quality. Choose the value Gasem offers you always. Gasem, the nation builder.
The government should come to our aid and help us because you are the first service.
In every election, there are battles. Battles for the voters' tongue.
Prior to the election, and then you say you are doing something. You didn't do anything. Politicians should not be putting gas in our eyes.
This election year, your election headquarters is redeploying boots on the ground, on the battleground. The battleground will bring the microphone to you in our carefully selected constituencies, engaging both candidates and the electorate in the struggle for hearts and minds.
It's me, big Joe dear. Sanda ya tuaba,
Then our crack team of analysts will break down the trends and the dynamics and dare to make projections. The battleground, this and every Thursday at 8 p.m. on your super station, Joy 99.7 FM.
With our new Always On bundles, you'll never run out of data in the middle of any important activity, no matter what. Choose from our Always On plans and enjoy true 4G LTE that never stops.
Surfline, it's about time.
Joy 99.7 FM.
Thanks for staying with us here on Newsnight and welcome back. So one more person has died from floods in the northern part of the country. Ibrahim Alhaji Idrisu drowned in a Nyamoni dam at Wundua in the East Mamprusi municipality after crossing the dam to visit his rice farm. Now this brings the total number of deaths in the northeast region alone to 8. Correspondent Ilyasu Tanko joins us live with more on this. Ilyasu, tell us exactly what happened.
Well, Emefa, like you said, this man went to his rice field, and while he was returning from the farm. I mean, this man is part of several farmers who are so desperate to go and visit their flooded farms. Last week, we heard that one more person died in the Dipsy area, which is in the West Mamprusi municipality, when they went to the riverside to swim. And so, I mean, farmers are so desperate, they are trying to reach their farmlands to see the extent of damage, and we keep on hearing this kind of accident in their attempts.
So then, in total, in the northeast region alone, we have up to 8 deaths as a result of this flooding and the spillage of the Bagri Dam?
Exactly. 2 in the Bunkurgu district, 2 now in the East Mamprusi municipality, 2 in the West Mamprusi municipality, and 2 also in the Mampurgo Muadori district.
Well, so we know that there was some resettlement. We'll talk about it, but tell us the current situation as a result of the spillage and the flooding. Has it receded a bit? Has the situation improved?
Not at all. I mean, several communities are still cut off, and the NADMO service are unable to reach them as we speak. Yesterday, the regional minister said they are waiting for the water level to recede before they will be able to move in to help these trapped residents.
Well, now let's talk about the resettlement plan and the involvement of the Volta River Authority. We're told that over 500 victims are hoping to be resettled. Tell us more. Exactly, and that is those are staying in the direct line of the Bagre Dam spillage, those living along the White Volta River. And so there is an estimate that over 500 people will be affected. And in terms of short-term measure, the VRA, which is part of the construction of the Poalugu multi-purpose dam, is taking this measure to resettle about 500 residents who are currently living in the lowland area. They will be bringing them to higher ground, and in short-term measure to prevent the reoccurrence of this disaster that we are hearing due to the spillage of the Bagre Dam. So that's my colleague Ilyasu Tanko reporting from the northeast region, where we've reported 8 deaths. So Evans, we'll go to the northern region.
Let's speak to Martina Bugri, because in Nauni, in the Kumbungu district of the northern region, residents there are calling on government to resettle this community, keep them safe from annual flooding. We all know that communities along the White Volta have experienced heavy flooding this year, something they said, of course, has never happened in terms of the magnitude. Martina has been speaking to the residents. What's the situation in the northern region, Martina?
I must say that the northern region is not different from the upper east and then northeast region. Currently in the northern region, 7 districts are flooded. 4 are flooded because of torrential rains, and then the rest are partly because of torrential rains and the spillage of the Bagre Dam. Now, the most affected are Kumbungu and Savilgu, who the White Volta passes through directly. Today at Maui, I must say, I would describe it as very terrible. The people sleep on the main road that goes into the community at night because they have no place to sleep, no food to eat, and they have no place to attend to nature or to bath. And so it's a total mess when you go into the community. Now, I spoke to them and they said they haven't seen such magnitudes of volumes of water flood the area before. And these are elderly men who are over 40, 50 years. And so it tells you how much devastation the flood has caused in the area. Now, what they are saying is that to stop this perennial thing, there is one thing alone that can be done. They should be resettled to a different area, and so that they make that place their trade center or occupational center whilst they live somewhere else.
Martina, thank you very much. I want to bring in now the Deputy Director of the National Disaster Management Organization, Mr. Abu Ramadan, joins us on the telephone line right now. Thank you for time. Mr. Ramadan, so tell me, the story in the regions of the north pretty dire from what our correspondents are telling us. What is the status of the relief effort that NADMO has been mobilizing?
Yeah, thank you for having me, Evans. And currently, distribution has started, and more relief items is being sent to the three main affected regions: the northern, northeast, and the upper east region. We are deploying. We've done most of our assessment, and the relief has started going out, and we hope in the coming days we'll be able to affect more communities that have been affected.
Let's get a breakdown. How many people have been displaced so far, in your estimation, across the board?
So far in the northeast region, we have in excess of about 500 that have been captured properly. In excess of about 500 that have been displaced. But the homes and the homes that have been destroyed as a result of heavy rains. And Evans, we need to correct this notion. The Bagri spillage mainly affects farmlands and floods the communities. But the deaths and the destruction in terms of the housing has to do more with the heavy rains that have come. It has to do more with the heavy rains. The collapse of buildings and stuff has to do more with the heavy rains. The Bagri, the main effect of it is the farmlands that. And if you remember, before before the spillage started, we were there. We did some sensitization. We met the chiefs. We told them to relocate, but they're typical Ghanaian nature. So in the northeast, about 500. In the upper east region, we are looking at some numbers in the region of 350 that have been mainly affected. And the Savannah, I'm yet to go there tomorrow with my team to meet with the regional team so that we go through the assessment they've done so far and take proper decisions.
What about deaths? What's the number figure? Do you know?
Estimated number so far is 8.
Okay, I mean
that's the official figures we have.
This will be one region.
And the northeast region. We are told it's just the northeast region. How about the other areas? Upper east, upper west, and the northern region.
Upper east. We had 3 deaths. Mm-hmm. 3 deaths as a result of the heavy rains and collapsed building. Some were injured and they were sent to the hospital. They've recovered and some have been discharged. And in the Savannah region, I'm yet to get that data from Savannah.
So we are told that Kumbungu area, for instance, they've been hit badly by this. We've heard of some resettlement in the northeast region by the Volta River Authority. Are there any plans for residents in other areas that need resettlement urgently?
Precisely, we're looking at resettling some communities that have been affected, and the resettlement. The problem is when we resettle, we need to resettle them properly so that we won't have them come back to their old settlements to do farming again. That is the major headache, and we are in discussion with government to look at how best we can resettle them and the chiefs to see how best we can settle them properly so that they don't go back to their farmlands in their old communities when they are resettled.
Well, but you've been on the ground, or your men have been on the ground. It's been days now since this flooding. But I would want to find out from you, your own assessment, how dire is the situation as we speak?
It's severe. The hectares of farmland that have been inundated with water and the roads communities that have been cut off is severe because for the first time in over 15 years, the Bagri authorities have spilled for a constant 10 days a minimum of 29 million gallons of water per minute. And for that matter, that the impact we are seeing. But the water in most areas has started receding. That's the good news for us. It started receding gradually. And the spill rate from Bagri 2 is reducing gradually. And we are hoping that the coming into effect of the Palugu Dam would help reduce the impact of it downstream. Okay,
Mr. Ramadan, stay with me. Let me bring in the MP for this particular area in Kumbungu, Ras Mubarak. Mr. Mubarak, you've been to your area. My reporter says that you've seen the devastation, asking for resettlement of the people who have been displaced. How bad is it, and what's the status of the relief effort there? Hello, Mr. Mubarak.
Hello, hi, Ivan.
Can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Fantastic. How bad is the situation there? What's the status of the relief effort where you are in your constituency?
it's very devastating. You know, about 47 homes have completely been submerged into the river, affecting hundreds of families within the Umi, Mane, Dale, Sibune, Tolugu, and Afayile communities within the Kumbungu constituency. Unfortunately and very sadly, there hasn't been support from NATMO. So a couple of days ago, we have, taken some relief items, and today.
How long has it been? How long has it been since the floods hit?
It's been almost a week now. NATMO has not come in yet. I've tried, success to reach the NATMO coordinator. So we had to appeal to corporate that and some embassies in the country. For instance, the Royal Embassy of Saudi Arabia has made some intervention. Stanbic Bank had indicated they would also come in and support the people. And we've secured commitment from the Embassy of the Republic of South Korea as well. So support is in bits and pieces.
Yeah, Mr. Mubarak, thankfully we have the Deputy NANMO boss on the line. Mr. Ramadan, so that's a case in Kumbungu. It's been almost a week. Help still hasn't arrived.
Evans, I can assure you between tomorrow and Saturday, the people of Kumbungu would receive something. I came back to Accra for a national simulation exercise, and I'll be leaving tomorrow back, and I'll be visiting Kumbungu too as well. I'll be visiting Kumbungu too as well, myself with the team, and I assure Ras that something will come to the community.
Okay, I mean, so it's good. I'm sure the people listening will be excited, but I mean, for a week, it's too long to endure. What's the problem? What's the problem in getting the relief as soon as?
You see, Ivan, the difficulty is that it is not just one community that has been affected, and for that matter, nothing is going. Almost 3 regions have been affected, and for that matter, the relief that we had, the reserve stock that we had to be distributed, and for that matter, most communities didn't get as much as they should get, and they didn't get as some even didn't get at all. But now, government has given us green light. More relief items are being purchased, and more are being sent up north. And we are not doing even the delivery of the items. We are not even taking stock of the items in Accra. They are being sent directly to the three affected regions directly. Suppliers are sending them directly, and when it arrives, it's being moved. So I'm assuring Ras Mubarak would take care of his people.
Okay. Ras Mubarak and Abu Ramadan, I'm grateful that you join us on this. This is your election headquarters.
And in the election headquarters tonight, the Greater Accra Regional Security Council has identified 8 constituencies as flashpoints going into the December 7 polls. According to the Deputy Regional Minister Elizabeth K.T. Saki, RegSec will roll out a sensitization campaign on peace and also collaborate with both police and military personnel to ensure that voters exercise their franchise in a peaceful environment. Now, we'll hear from her shortly, but it comes on the back of a simulation exercise carried out by NADMO to assess the readiness of security agencies going into the polls. Now, the exercise, which was conducted simultaneously in the Ashanti, Northern and here in the Greater Accra region, is also to ensure effective collaboration between security agencies to avoid chaos and confusion during the polls. My colleague, Kwesi Parker Wilson, was at the command center. He joins me in studio with more on this. So, Kwesi, give us a mental picture of what transpired at that command center today.
Okay, so it's a conference room where we had heads of security agencies there coordinating with their men on the ground. In fact, they selected 2 constituencies in the Greater Accra region, that is the Ayawaso West Wagon constituency and the Tema West constituency. Now, there was a sample election going on at the 2 constituencies where there were more like an activity where individuals would have to come and cast their ballots, and some group of people will also come to disrupt the process, and then the police would quickly move in to contain the situation. So there was a scenario for the Nengo Pram constituency where we were told that an individual had been tested positive for COVID-19.
Is that one of the flashpoints?
That's one of the flashpoints that they said, has been tested positive for COVID-19, and that the EC officials were preventing her from registering. Now, she threatened to strip naked if they don't allow her to cast a vote. So, in a situation like this, what then should the police do, the security agencies do? What are they supposed to do? So quickly, we received the information from the ground, and then at the command center, the police said that they have their COVID-19 team ready, that they are going to move in to secure the place. Also, the ambulance service rep indicated there is an ambulance present, so they can quickly take those who've been tested positive to the isolation center. So these are some of the things that went on. But we spoke to the Greater Accra Regional NADMO director, that is Archibald Kobna, and then he has been explaining more about this simulation exercise.
This is one thing that many do not know, but it is our core mandate. You know, our core mandate is to play the coordinating role with all agencies. And that's why Eric Nanajima Prempe, our Director General, has taken this initiative, working together with the United Nations, UN, to ensure that all of us who are stakeholders in the elections would sharpen our preparedness towards these elections. We know that in this country we've had elections since 1992 up till now, and it's all been good. But, you don't sit aloof. You prepare yourself and ensure that wherever there is smoke, you kill it before it turns into a full-blown fire.
Again, the sense that there are fears of a possible violence during this election? Is that what it is?
Every country has a military. The reason we have a military is whether there is a war or not, there is military, and that's what we call preparedness.
So that's Archibald Kobna. Now, the Deputy Regional Minister, Elizabeth Saki, who disclosed the number of flashpoints in the region, says even though she's impressed with the readiness of the security agencies, more has to be done to ensure a peaceful environment.
We need to send much education to the people, and the citizens or citizenry should also understand us that it takes two to fight. So, like we have an adage that says "Hinankoka," and that sort of songs that we have. So, in a nutshell, I think that we all should have that idea with us and know that we need peace for the country.
Rexek, have you been able to identify some flashpoints in Greater Accra, and what measures have been taken so far?
Yeah, we've identified some. The Rexek is prepared. We've come out with some information, and I know very well that my minister is also ready. He will come out with a statement that will put everybody to fit and know exactly what to do at any given time. So it wouldn't be like the earthquake that we are talking of. People will just stand in their room and be waiting. We'll look out for places that people need to rush to. If there's any route, how to handle yourself, how to go about things, and then we are sure of having the peace. If there should be any other thing, we will surely come out from the statement and let people know that I know I should be able to counter this and know how to cope with it and gather myself right.
But do you have a fair idea of how many flashpoints that have been identified so far?
For now, we have about 8.
8 flashpoints?
In Greater Accra. We have the Ododiodo, we have the Krowo, we have the Tema West, we have the Ayawaso. Well, those, so we have about 8 of them.
That's the Deputy Greater Accra Regional Minister. Let's bring in security analyst, retired Colonel Festus Abwaje. We're grateful for your time here on Newsnight. So up to 8 flashpoints in the Greater Accra region alone is one thing, identifying them, but what measures should be put in place going forward into the December polls to avert any chaotic situations and violence in these flashpoints?
Well, thanks for having me, Emefa and Evans. It's a good idea that they've been able to operationally assess the situation in order to arrive at potential flashpoints as they are enumerating. So the next stage in the preparation towards the elections is now to find the resources in terms of the personnel, in terms of the equipment, and then allocate these personnel to the different potential flashpoints. And that is where it becomes a bit problematic. But we know that ordinarily the police don't have the strength in terms of numbers to deploy sufficiently to all the centers. So the election security task force mechanism should now incorporate and group other security services and then allocate them to these centers. But I think one of the speakers before me mentioned the element of education. Does not matter how much force you deploy. If people are not well educated about the election laws, election procedures, in this case, how you identify somebody who is eligible to vote, who holds the registration card, whose biometrics will be certified by whatever system that is going to be used, who is not underage. These are the areas where there needs to be education and how persons can go about challenging or not challenging, and get security forces to be present to intervene if the situation should deteriorate.
Okay, but briefly though, could there be more? We've been told about 8. Do you think there may be more?
Well, the nature of our elections is such that many things may not be easily determinable. So you start with the 8, but then you prepare for other contingencies, as in all kinds of crisis situation planning and preparation. So they need to work with a worst case scenario. In other words, try and add many more areas that could potentially deteriorate, and then prepare for them. But it's a good start point to start with the 8, and then define now the mechanism that they're going to use, which will revolve around those static elements that are present at polling stations, those that will be on patrol, those that will be the backups, and all the reserve.
Okay. We're grateful for your time. That's Colonel Festus Abuaji.
Well, so on election headquarters, we are learning tonight that the Electoral Commission has uncovered more than 6,000 multiple registrations at the just ended voter registration exercise. The Commission says it will be naming and shaming these individuals who broke the law. Listen to Madam Mensah, chairperson of the EC.
The Commission will display the provisional voters register for public inspection and correction at designated exhibition centers throughout the country from tomorrow, Friday, the 18th day of September, to Friday, the 25th day of September 2020, from 7 a.m. each day until 6 p.m., including Saturday and Sunday. The exhibition of the
go behind the scenes during this time to find out the number of on the multiples list, and at the moment we have a total of 6,080. Legitimately, the Commission can take legal action against them, but I do believe that there's a time for everything. At the moment, we are geared towards conducting free, fair, and transparent elections, and therefore we are focusing our attention to that area. But I believe that we are going forward. These are decisions that could be taken. Some legal action could be brought against them. We will be deciding whether or not to publish their names, but I think the Commission would publish their names on its website with their photographs and so on, and show the number of times that they registered, with the different attires and that sort of thing. So be assured that we intend to call out persons who have engaged in illegalities And once the process of exhibition is completed, their images and their names will be published on our website.
So already there have been reactions to the EC's revelation. Listen to the PNC chairman, Bernard Mona.
If today you are telling us and admitting that there is multiple registration, you, the Electoral Commission, should rather be the one we should send to court.
Why?
Because you lied, you deceived the people of Ghana, that you are going to create a perfect system that will not carry these impurities. And at the end of the day, you are telling us that the major reasons for which you were embarking on a new exercise, you failed in them. So who is the candidate for court? You are the candidate. That is the first point. Now, you, by some magic, my name has been recorded twice or on the voters register. I only went to Sankana Town Hall to go and register. I didn't go anywhere. How my name is replicated on your system should be your duty, not me. This is a biometric system. And why? We told the Electoral Commission that, look, people were going to have the possibility of doing a new voters multiple registration, because you were not doing the registration all in one day. You were not doing it in one period. You did it in phases of 6. The point is that you, the Electoral Commission, failed to put in the check that will ensure that people doesn't get onto the registration.
But it doesn't change the fact that those who have
the Electoral Commission is actually the one that allowed them the opportunity to enter the voters register.
But it doesn't change the fact that you have broken the law.
Instead of the Electoral Commission thinking about prosecuting other people, the Electoral Commission should be prosecuted.
Well, I mean, talking about the Electoral Commission, today there's a statement from the APC, the All People's Congress. They've written to the Electoral Commission asking the Commission to reduce the filing fee by 50%. The APC's flag bearer, Hassan Erga, argues that the 100% increment, which is 100,000, will force political parties such as his, they are so handicapped, may fall out of the presidential race. He says that there is COVID-19 and that the economy is in crisis and parties are also financially challenged. And so he's written for a reduction. Well, today, on the back of the EC's announcement on a campaign trail, John Mahama is in Kajiji in the Senate East District of the Bono East region, and he is asking the Electoral Commission to ensure free and fair and transparent elections in December.
A free telephone is here. A free kanya yehun wo hey. Ensure a coin school, hospital, bibia wo hebia, and this abreso any
Everything here, including telephone connection, electricity, water, roads, hospitals, and other facilities, were constructed by the NDC. Since the NPP came to power, what have they done? Let's vote for the NDC to bring more resources here.
National cake, what's a Bassana is no. Yes, yes, Abeka. And see a better about NDC. And it's a NDC a manual. Yeah, some dream for.
We want peace, so let's all vote in peace to afford the NDC an opportunity to bring more development.
Well, First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo has been touring the Ayawaso West Wuogon constituency today, touting her, of course, achievements in the area of health, but also asking young men and women to apply the skills that you're receiving from the many interventions the government had rolled out.
I thought I was coming to a simple ceremony, not even a ceremony, just handing over some items to the people. But this has turned out to be a whole setting, a nice little program. It is a great pleasure to start by your hospital today to present a few items to you. The Legon Hospital has a history of providing quality health care to the Legon community. I myself have heard countless stories of the great work by the staff of this hospital. I also know that support is always needed to enable you to give the quality of care that your patients deserve. And as the Executive Director of the Rebecca Foundation, my major focus has been the improvement of our health sector. Since 2017, we have built health facilities, renovated, refurbished, and given hospital equipment and consumables to facilities across the country. Today, it is my pleasure to support the Legon Hospital by presenting these items to you. I know you have other needs, and my foundation will assess those needs to see how we can further help.
And that is Rebecca Akufo-Addo there. So listening to News Now on Joy 99.7 FM.
We'll go for business shortly, but still to come, a quest to make history and a desire to let things remain the same. The race for the Adenta parliamentary seat, your election headquarters, presents the battleground, happening tonight at 8 p.m.
A bigger gap. In 2016, I had nothing to show. Now we have lots to show.
Time for all of us to come together and wrestle the seat from the MPP.
That's coming up later, and then also the battleground is at 8 p.m. George, do you live in Adenta?
No, but we're
very close to Adenta.
You're looking at what will happen because, there are parts of East Legon that can be classified as Adenta. Yeah. It's interesting how the demarcation has been done as well. So we are looking forward. If something is happening in your neighboring town, of course, you should be worried about it, and whoever should take it. It's becoming a kind of a swing consistency sometimes, and you see what's going to happen.
We'll give you all the dynamics later this evening.
I just cannot wait for Emefa coming up in business. MTN targets first quarter of next year to roll out its artificial intelligence to help check mobile money fraud. And Ghana Tourism Authority works out a new financing module to help sustain local tourist sites in the country. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all your office essentials. And First National Bank, we are the bank that understands your business. First National Bank, how can we help you?
Look at you, the big boss.
You know they hear.
You know they fear who?
Until somebody says, I will tell your mother.
That's why we say wear a mask, or else
we will call your mother.
Hey, why are you disgracing me? Why your mask?
Wear it for her. Wear it for me everywhere you go. MTN. Visit wearit4.me to send a message to someone.
We give you nothing but the best. We stay above the rest. More quality, more affordability. Kingdom Books and Stationery. Everybody's going to the one and only shop where customer satisfaction is a guarantee. Kingdom Books and Stationery.
Oh yes, with our 30 days credit facility with no interest charge, free delivery services, and our free consultation on setting up your office, Kingdom Books and Stationery is unmatched in our delivery of quality and affordable office essentials, equipment, and furniture.
Experience world-class customer service in all our branches in Accra, Tema, Kumasi, Cape Coast, and Takoradi.
Call us on 0302-764-101
or visit our website at www.kingdomgh.com.
Kingdom Books and Stationery, your number one-stop shop for all office essentials and stationery. Terms and conditions apply.
Puma Drinks, ready to add flavor to your life? Puma Drinks, bursting with so many flavors, you just can't have enough.
My buddy, why you for just the watch when you can be wild proper? When you for scream, shout, hear and kata, put your body, get down, fire your body, catch views, drop the mic. Ghana, the time catch where we for change the way we watch. Welcome to Showmax and to Chow Online Entertainment from movies and series to sports like EPL and La Liga. Feel it from Super Sport and more. You feel enjoy them on any device, anytime. Visit showmax.com today. Let's lucky.
The exhibition of the voters register for the 2020 election is here.
The Electoral Commission of Ghana will display the provisional voters register at all polling stations designated as exhibition centers where voters registered recently from 18th to 25th September 2020. 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. Do not assume that your name is in the register. Go personally to your polling station with your voter's ID card as evidence to 1. Verify your details of registration to make sure that your name, photograph and other particulars are in the register. 2. Make claims for omitted data such as name, age or sex to be included in the register. 3. Amend details such as incorrect name, sex, age and unclear photographs in the register and on your voter ID card. 4. Know your polling station ahead of the elections. And 5. Object to the inclusion of names of unqualified persons on stated grounds. The EC has introduced a mobile telephony tracking SMS platform to enable registered voters access their registration details using their mobile phones. Very simple. Text your voter ID to 1422 on all networks to verify your details on the voters register. To ensure a safe and secure exhibition of voters register exercise, the Electoral Commission will direct all registrants to observe compulsory protection protocols like wearing of face masks, temperature checks, social distancing and hand sanitizing instituted by government as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic at all exhibition centers. Exhibition of the Provisional Voters Register is from 18th to 25th September 2020. 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day, including Saturday and Sunday. Remember, the only way to guarantee that your name is in the voters register is to take part in the exhibition exercise. 2020 exhibition of the voters register exercise. Your safety, our concern.
Participate in the exhibition of the voters register.
Welcome back to Business on News Night. Now, telecoms operator MTN has indicated that the plans rolling out its artificial intelligence system to check mobile money fraud from the first quarter of next year. According to the telecoms giant, this is to complement existing structures that have been put in place to deal with this challenge. The service has been hit by recent rising fraud cases that people see that could go a long way to affect the service. But speaking to Joy Business ahead of its appearance on PM Express on Business Edition tonight at 9 p.m. on the Joy News channel, Chief Executive of MTN Signal Dadivo says they are committed to dealing with this challenge.
The fraud we're seeing in Ghana is largely social engineering fraud. And social engineering thrives where there's a gap between the level of understanding and sophistication of consumers with the fraudsters, okay? So the immediate fix for something like this, as far as social engineering is concerned, is education. We're also going to the point where we're now looking at other technologically driven mechanisms to be a little bit more effective in predicting trends. In the meantime, we have other tools that are helping us to do similar things, but it won't be as sophisticated. We're trying to step this up a notch, right? And we're also looking at these initiatives around the industry coordination, also looking at education, and also looking at processes where we can automate more and have more security around processes that also allow some of these things to happen. So there are a number of things going on. I mean, for example, today if you registered a SIM card on MTN, we would actually check the validity of the ID on the originating database. So that prevents fake IDs, right? So that's one problem that we're attacking today. And pre-registered SIMs, for example, now you're going to have that original ID because all those fake IDs that were being used, you can't do that anymore on our network. So there are a number of places that we're blocking the loopholes on, but we need something more holistic to be able to really bring this under control.
Chief Executive of MTN Ghana, Solomon Dadivo, and he'll be on PM Express Business Edition tonight at 9 p.m. And the Ghana Tourism Authority has worked out a new module that would help local sites finance themselves from their internally generated funds. According to the authority, this will go a long way to deal with the low level of development in these areas. Akosi Ajiman, the Chief Executive of the authority.
And so this came into being somewhere in February 2020. We've been working at it since 2017, went through a lot of stakeholder engagements, and in December 2019, on the 23rd of December, that was one of the last items that was laid in the House, and it became law somewhere in February. There is a sharing formula and a sharing ratio. I mean, in terms of actually regulating these sites, we'll be looking to have certain facilities in place. And so basic amenities like washrooms, infirmaries, access to a nearby hospital, having a proper manager of the site, and also ensuring that the money collected are distributed per the formula that will be agreed per each location. Because there are some locations that have been, over the years, owned by communities. They've made investments into that. So yes, the law will recognize those investments made in those communities and those tourist sites.
Akosi Ajiman is Chief Executive of the Ghana Tourism Authority. Now, open access to fisheries resources and lack of regulation could kill fishing industry in the country. Now, that's according to the Center for Coastal Management of the University of Cape Coast. Director for the center, that is Professor Dennis Wolanyo, tells Joy Business the lack of adequate institutional capacity must be fixed right now to protect the industry.
Virtually collapsed. And we all do know that marine fisheries, particularly at the artisanal scale, contribute significantly to national development, because we do have about 3 million Ghanaians who depend on the fisheries. Obviously, not just the small pelagic, but also the large pelagic, the tunas, and so on. And so, over time, we have not really put in place adequate measures to sustain the fish stocks. And so issues of illegal, reported or non-regulated fishing, where we've allowed foreign vessels into our oceans to mismanage our stocks.
Professor Dennis Wolanyo had to speaking ahead of a town hall engagement with the political parties on fisheries and coastal management challenges in Ghana. Now, Talu Oyo says it has implemented some strict financial measures to deal with the losses that hit operations this year. Let's hear from the Chief Finance Officer, Les Wood.
With historical high level of spending, and then how we maintain this strict capital discipline that we all talked about going forward. On the left-hand side of the chart, as you're aware, we have taken material non-cash impairments write-offs in both 2019 and also in the first half of 2020. As with much of the industry, these impairments have been driven by significantly lower short-term and longer-term price outlooks. And in the case of the 10 project specifically, this was a project that was sanctioned, built, and delivered in $100+ oil price cost environment.
And that's the Chief Finance Officer, Talu Oyo PLC, Les Wood. And that's all for Business on Newsnight.
Thank you very much, George. Let's go back to the election headquarters.
Well, in every election year, there are battles for the voters' stamp. Now, this year, your election headquarters is redeploying, in fact, boots on the ground in the battleground.
The Adentan constituency will on December 7 see a keenly contested race. The MPP's Yabuabian Samoa will be seeking to make history as the only MP to be retained.
A bigger gap. In 2016, I had nothing to show. Now, we have lots to show.
The NDC's Mohammed Ramadan will want history to remain unchanged as he maintains Yao Boabin Asamoah does not deserve a second term.
It's time for all of us to come together and wrestle the seats from the MPP.
The constituents who are politically conscious simply cannot wait.
not going well at all, because at the time the NPP was taking over government, we thought they would do things different.
Big Joe's friend, you see, has a contrary opinion. He insists Yao Boabin Asamoah deserves a second term.
They are telling lies. We are not losing. Things are cool here.
So the countdown is on. The mating edition for this election year is just what? And an hour ago, an hour to go. Okay. I mean, this is at 8 p.m. tonight. Yourself, Emefa Apawu, is the commanding officer in charge of that.
On the battleground. Together with Evans,
myself, Winston, Akable. Everybody's going to be on it. Tonight, the analysis is going to be superb. Israel has been an Adenta person for, 16 years plus. Raised all his children there. It understands the dynamics there. He's been voting there as part of those who swing it, and so we're gonna be interacting with the candidates also.
Bobby and Samuel will be joining us. Mohammed Ramadan will also join us.
Great.
We'll know all about the Adenta constituency and tell you why we're starting from the Adenta constituency.
I'm looking forward to when we dare to make projections, because we spent time there last week, 1 week in Adenta, gathering the data, speaking to people. There's a sense to which you need to listen to this and get what the pulse of Adenta is ahead of December 7th. Don't miss it. 8 p.m.
Also on all our social media platforms and myjoyonline.com. It's time for sports, and Baba Tando joins us via Zoom. Baba.
Hi, Emefa and Evans. How are you? Looking forward to 8 p.m. myself.
Of course.
Sports administrators have expressed fear over the financial burden that will be presented Ghana sports post-COVID-19. Secretary General of the Ghana Athletics Association, Fuseni Bawa, tells Joy Sports it will be extremely difficult to keep up with preparations for events after the pandemic.
Sports in general, beyond COVID, is going to be very difficult in terms of funding and in terms of the protocols. It will not be as usual. It will going to be very expensive to organize, because you need to have all the protocols in place. You need to provide PPE for your athletes, for your coaches, for officials, and for you yourself. So definitely it's going to be a bit difficult and a bit expensive. And coming out from elections and the COVID effects on the private sector, they need to regain their financial strength before they can be able to give sponsorship. And coming out from the elections, it will take 2, 3, 4 months before the new government will be able to settle down to be able to give something up for the preparations. So in all, it is not going to be as usual. It's going to be a pretty difficult.
Away from that, former Youth and Sports Minister Nilante Vanderpoy says the risk of a potential conflict of interest situation prevented him from paying a $45,000 loan back to Ghana's first world boxing champion, DK Poison, during his tenure. Nilante headed the sports ministry for 10 months before his party lost the 2016 election. The Member of Parliament for the Odododiodo constituency says he attempted to solve the problem fully during his tenure, but became limited due to his personal relationship with DK Poison.
Having that relationship with him, I was a bit also scared of a possible issue of conflict of interest. So even though I made attempts on it, I was a bit restricted in my demand that it should be done at all costs.
These are excerpts of the George Sports documentary titled The Boxing Loan, which explores the circumstances around a loan of $45,000 DK Poison gave to the state during tough economic times out of his purse from a title defense in Japan. It will be broadcast on Monday, September 21 on the Joy News channel, which is free to air, and also on channel 421 on DSTV. Now on the foreign front, Premier League clubs have urged the UK government to stick to its proposal of allowing fans to return to stadiums from October 1. The government has restricted pilot events to 1,000 spectators and is reviewing its initial target date of when more fans could attend venues. The move followed a rise in coronavirus cases in parts of the country. The Premier League met with clubs on Thursday and ensured stadiums will be among the safest public places. The majority of sports in England have been played behind closed doors since the coronavirus lockdown in March. During Thursday's meeting, Premier League clubs said the loss of revenue generated at stadiums from matches was having a significant impact across the league as well as on the football pyramid and the local and national economies. And guess what? The Premier League Chief Executive Richard Masters has already said a failure to return fans to stadiums quickly could cost the league's 20 clubs £700 million during the 2020-2021 season. And this season, 7 fixtures in the EFL will welcome crowds of up to 1,000. Hull City's home fixture with Crewe was also due to host some fans. But with local coronavirus cases more than tripling in the past week, the council stepped in to cancel the pilot. You are up to date in the world of sports. I'm Baba Tando.
And tonight, the quiz mistress for the National Science and Maths Quiz, Gladys Swinger, she's hosting it for the preliminary round. She's admonishing Ola Girls Senior High School to adequately prepare for their subsequent contest because she wants us to win. So she's spurring us on to do better than we did after we qualified to the 1-8 stage of the competition. Listen to her.
I am a branch of biology. Historically, I was a branch of botany. Although I am evolutionarily more closely related to animals than to plants, this was not recognized until a few decades ago. I am the branch of biology concerned with the study of fungi. Who am I? Ola? Mycology. I am a dynamical property of an object. I characterize the state of motion of an object. I am a vector quantity. My rate of change equals the net force on the object. Yes, Ola. Linear momentum. At the end of the contest, Duffer Senior High School had 9 points. Tongo SHCS 13 points. Ola Senior High School a wide margin of 52 points. Congratulations to my girls.
Hey, my girls.
Yes, you know linear momentum. Do you know? And that's how it went today. Mauli School and Sunrise SHS have also qualified.
Ola Banana.
From the Volta Old Banana crowd, we have qualified. OT zone to the 1-8 stage. Remember our coverage of the 2020 National Science and Maths.
Oh, in Ashanti region, Agogo State.
Agogo State College. KNUST, SHS, and Osei 2 SHS have also sailed through to the 1-8 stage. Let's go through our sponsors. We have Bright SHS Kukrantumi, Building Dreams and Shaping the Future, DBS Colorlink Roof, Plus Roofing Sheet, Roofing Papapasi, Adonko Hand Sanitizers, and then Adonko Next Level Energy Drink, the premium energy drink. They make it possible. And that's it for News Night, and we are back at 8 with a battleground. Before then, Personality Profile with Minai, Donko, Muntari, and Lexus Bill. They're up next. I am Emefa Apawu.
And my name is Mensah.